Hi guys, this is Varun Tej. You're watching me on FilmiBeat. And honestly, I wasn't offered something very substantial. I was told to come and work, but it was never a proper script and all of that. We never wanted to make this film because someone else was making it.
Right.
I'm sure that was also not their intention.
Yeah.
It just happened that two different directors came out with the same thought or whatever it is. Called out by Fida in places in Bombay usually.
Yeah.
That I was actually surprised. I didn't know that it was such a big hit there.
Yeah.
This was back like 3-4 years
Yeah.
ago. Me and Sai Pallavi, we actually got offered another love story post Fida.
Okay.
So me and Sai Pallavi got on a call. So we're good friends. So we got on a call and we were like, you know what, we did something so good like Fida. And in case we ever collaborate again, it has to be better than that.
How has life changed after marriage?
I think it's more beautiful after getting married.
Hi guys, welcome to Filmi Baatein with FilmiBeat. This is Murtaza Iqbal and आज मेरे साथ एक ऐसे एक्टर है जिनको तेलुगु फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में तो लोग इनके ऊपर फिदा ऑलरेडी हो ही चुके हैं and now in Hindi film industry he is coming with his movie Operation Valentine. Well, I'm talking about none other than Varun Tej, who is here with us today. Hi Varun, welcome to FilmiBeat.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, man.
First, of course, I want to start by asking you this: how has been this promotions in Mumbai, meeting Mumbai journalists? How is that going on?
It's nice. I'm hearing a whole different lot of questions. The approach is different, but it's a nice, refreshing change, I should say.
Right. So, of course, I would like to know that earlier also you must have been offered a few Hindi films. But what made you think that, okay, Operation Valentine should be something that I want to come into Hindi belt as well?
Honestly, I wasn't offered something very substantial. I was told to come and work, but it was never a proper script and all of that. But I read a couple of them which probably didn't even go into production.
Okay.
See, you should feel it from within. And earlier I was like, okay, I'm finding my ground in Telugu.
Yeah.
Let me figure it out. We don't need to explore other languages. You can at least be happy in the space you are.
Yeah.
But then when we were seeing how films are being received by a larger section of audience and these lines are being blurred between states and the language barrier is going off. And again, your content of a film also matters. If it is a universal point, sometimes it works. Not that tomorrow I do a film which is a region-based film, which I probably not want to explore other languages also. So I think it totally depends on the subject and the script. So Operation Valentine had that universal appeal. Obviously, it's an Air Force film. It was based on true events that happened in 2019. So we somehow figured that this is something people across the country will resonate with, and that's what we thought. Okay, let's do it in Hindi and Telugu. And the director is from Rajasthan, so he speaks Hindi. Hindi is his main language. So we thought, okay, we'll shoot in both Telugu and Hindi.
Right. So how's your Hindi like? Hindi kaisi aapki? Have you spoken your own dialogues? Are you planning to dub in Hindi?
No,
How is it?
Of course, I did my own dialogues, but I did dub for for the teaser.
Yeah.
The thing is, I need a lot of time to get it right. But we've been running around in promotions and all. We're still figuring it out. I have a track which I already dubbed.
Yeah.
So we want to see if we can find someone who's better. Why not use another artist who can voice myself better than what I did? Because obviously, because of the shortcomings I have with the language, we'll see. I'll have to convince my director if I want my voice to be out.
Right. Of course, playing an IF pilot, it's a very... how was that feeling when you actually wore that uniform for the first time?
Bro, it was an honor first to wear that. It is, and it is such a huge responsibility when you wear that. You don't play it wrong. You don't make fun of it. You have to have the best and the most realistic approach towards what it really is and how it should be on screen, reflect on screen. So obviously we did a lot of homework went behind it by the director, by me. Luckily the MOD was on the same page as us. They were really accommodative. The IF was working with us for the film.
Okay.
And they had a couple of IF personnel on set. So they were making sure we get all the nuances, all the detailing and everything right, including the small badges that we have on our overhauls. They were making sure all of those are very, very authentic. I think it is important when you're making a film on people who protect your country or people who do such a high octane job protecting us. I think it's important that their representation has to be as accurate as possible. and for that we did a lot of homework. Obviously, for me as an actor to look like one, there's a physical part of it that went through, and to behave like one, the mental work that we went through, talking to people, getting to know the stories, trying to like get into their skin of the character. I think it was a very nice. It was challenging, but still very memorable.
Right. Of course, how was it to work with Manushi? She is, of course, the Miss World that we
Right.
saw her, and then, of course, she did a Hindi debut, and I think this is her second film that's coming into theatres.
Right.
How was it to work with her and team up with her? And I think for her, Telugu, like, for example, maybe Hindi might not be that great for you,
No,
but for her, Telugu is something new for her.
That was the fun that we had on sets because of the language barrier that we had, because we were shooting in 2 languages.
Yeah.
The Telugu of hers or my Hindi, we usually end up messing up our lines.
Yeah.
Or we're shooting for the Telugu, I would do my Hindi lines, and she's doing for the Hindi and she would do her Telugu lines occasionally. Otherwise, working with her was fun. She's very, very professional, and she's a serious actor. I can say that. I mean, she was always, she would never like rest on set. Like, she would not go sit in a van and chill and come whenever her scene is. She would just sit there, try to understand, try to get the entire atmosphere into her head. I think that effort was always there from her side, and she's supremely talented. I feel, I mean, obviously, because people who come from that pageant to that background, you kind of stereotype them. I think this role that she's playing of Ahana Gill is going to break that barrier for her, and she's going to like fly high.
Right. Of course, we just recently saw kind of a similar concept film, Fighter, with Ritik and Deepika. Of course, there will be comparisons that will obviously happen. But do you think somewhere maybe like the release time, if it would have been a bit away, it would have been a better one?
It could have been better. Maybe, I mean, we won't know till the release.
Yeah.
It could have been better. Probably it is a good or a wrong thing. I don't know. But I think it's fate, no? You don't plan such things. Initially, we were supposed to release it last year. Because of our VFX shortcomings, we had to push it. And another big biggie was made on the same backdrop. I think it has its pros and cons, but as long as you're true to your craft from within, about what you and why you wanted to make this film. We never wanted to make this film because someone else was making it.
Right.
I'm sure that was also not their intention.
Yeah.
It just happened that 2 different directors came out with the same thought or whatever it is. I think it'll have, we knew the angle that we were tapping into the Air Force warriors.
Yeah.
We were going on a very personal front and going on a very, very realistic approach. I cannot talk for them, but we went on a very realistic approach, and mostly we wanted to tap onto the domestic side of it also, not just the professional front of it.
Right.
I think that is where we are going to be apart from the rest of the films that are being made.
Right. Of course, you got married also. Were you shooting during this thing? How was it simultaneously? Was it happening? Because of course, this is, I'm sure, when I watched the trailer, the teaser, I know that this was a difficult film for you as well.
Right.
So when there is a personal life thing happening and then there's a movie which is like on your shoulder, how difficult it is to manage it?
I finished my last day of shoot and then took my flight to Italy to get married. So I finished the work before getting married, because I knew that wedding was going to occupy so much of my space and time. I didn't want my work here to get diluted. So I made sure that the wedding date was planned in a way that I would finish my shoot and then I would go off with some peace in my head that, okay, I've done my work.
Right.
Yeah, I've done that after my shoot.
Correct. Of course, as I started my introduction by calling you the actor who is Fida, everyone is Fida on you in Telugu, because I think Fida is something Hindi audience has actually seen on OTT and on TV.
Right.
I think for me also, I came to know about you through Fida only.
Okay.
So, I mean, today also, I think people do watch it. Do you get that kind of messages, the response for the love that the movie is still getting after so many years?
I get called out by Fida in places in Bombay usually.
Yeah.
That I was actually surprised. I didn't know that it was such a big hit there.
Yeah.
This was back like 3-4 years ago. I'm glad that at least people have received the work that I've done, and I don't have to struggle to familiarize myself.
Yeah.
Now, as long as you give a good film, that's all that matters. Yeah, come out with good content. That's it.
Right, and I think when you met 2 days ago, I told you that I'm a Sai Pallavi fan, so I want to know, are you collaborating with her again? Because I think I loved your chemistry in that movie.
No, she's a fantastic actress and a very nice person. I mean, me and Sai Pallavi, we actually got offered another love story post Fida.
Okay.
So me and Saipar, we got on a call. So we're good friends. So we got on a call and we were like, you know what, we did something so good like Fida, and in case we ever collaborate again, it has to be better than that. So that story that we heard wasn't on par with what we did. So we said, you know what, let's not touch it, let's not spoil what we've created. Let's wait for the right one. And I said, yeah, I think that's only right.
Right. You know, of course, when you come from a family where a lot of superstars are on, I think one picture of yours you guys posted and it goes just viral. People go crazy about it. Do you somewhere on the other hand feel awestruck when you maybe see Chiranjeevi sir, Pawan Kalyan sir, or you are like, you know, they are actually my family. The superstar is a different thing, but they are like a family.
They're like my mama, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get, but I do get awestruck when I see them at shoot, because the person I know before he walks onto the set is a different person, and when I see him on set, he's such a hardworking person, and his focus is completely on his craft, and he gives his 100%. At home, he can be like, he can have a back pain and all of that because of his age and because of what he's been through. But on set, when you hear the word action, like he vanishes and transforms into another person. So that is when I actually get awestruck looking at him.
True. You know, of course, as I said that this is the first time that, you know, you're coming into Hindi belt. A lot of time it happens, and of course, hope that this movie does well at the box office. But when in Hindi of movies does well, the actors kind of more prefer to just keep on doing pan-India films.
Right.
Do you want to go in that zone, or you would be like, hey, I would prefer doing my Telugu also, and if there is a concept, then only I'd like to go for pan-India release?
I think you should not have that thought before starting. It depends on how people are perceiving it.
Yeah.
You cannot follow that path. It doesn't work that way. I think not all films, and again, if you keep striving and looking for films that are universal, you might lose out on some really good films. I'm not going to be on that search, but if I get a good film, if I think it's going to appeal, is when I'm going to come in. Otherwise, I will refrain myself and stick to what I'm making back in Telugu.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, lastly, before I wrap up, this is a very stereotypical question that mainly goes to actresses, but this time I want to ask an actor, how has life changed after marriage?
I think it's more beautiful after getting married. See, there's a certain sense of being that you come home, you don't want to walk into an empty house after days lot of work. So for me, it's nice that I have a shoulder to lean back when I come home, and it's a wonderful feeling to walk into comfort.
Right. So Varun, it was really lovely chatting with you.
Thanks,
all the
Murtaza.
best for Operation
Thank you so
Valentine, and
much.
thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.